What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And this one, let's talk about Tesla stock and what Cathie has been saying about it. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon. By the time you're watching this video, it ends in about 7 days. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with Tesla. So, just so you guys know, I have a bit of a family emergency that's going on. I'm going to be driving very, very far for almost the entire weekend, visiting family because one of my uncles is quite ill. And I'm going to be very busy, so I have to pre-record this video before the weekend. That's why the share prices on my video right now may be a little bit different from what they actually look like. And that's why I want to focus on something else just for this video. I want to talk about Tesla's long-term target, why this thing does have the potential to go up to about $2,600 per share within a couple of years. Now, it sounds like crazy, right? It sounds like it makes no sense, but you have to understand what's driving Tesla. Cathie Wood has made some important claims about Tesla, and I think that she could be correct about this if things go as planned, if the stars align. I'm going to talk about what those stars are and how things could be looking. The Tesla share price has a very, very nice accumulation structure right over here. We have a nice kind of like double bottom, and we could be potentially dipping right over here before we continue to squeeze a lot higher. But I think that this will eventually surpass the 400s, right? Especially going into next year. Now, when it comes to Tesla surpassing these levels, this is going to be dependent on many different factors. One of them is going to be what Musk has been also talking about, and that is going to be the robo-taxi. What does Tesla give us for this? So Cathie Wood has started this very, very nice looking roadmap about why Tesla has an expected value of about $2,600 per share in 2029. I agree that Tesla will reach this target, but that falls under the assumption of them meeting these particular circumstances. I'm going to talk about what they are. So, looking at their potential targets, the expected value is at about $2,600 per share. That is based off many different things. Their Monte Carlo analysis. The bear case is going to be $2,000 per share for 2029, and the bull case is $3,100. But that's going to be worth, some very, very crazy numbers if things look very, very good for their sales and such. Without autonomy, they mentioned that Tesla is going to be worth about $350 a share. If they never achieve autonomy, which I think is unlikely. I think that with so much that Tesla's investing into it, the billions that they are spending on their Dojo supercomputers, their NVIDIA chips, and the chips that they are developing themselves, not to mention how much effort they're putting in with their engineers and such, I think that personally Tesla will achieve autonomy. But the question remains when they really achieve that and when they start to generate a lot more revenue. What gives Tesla this valuation? Because if you look at how much Tesla's worth, it's worth around $1 trillion per share, even more than that, if anything. Why is Tesla worth so much? It's worth a lot more than Ford and GM and its other counterparts. And that's because of AI developments. So as you guys can see, based off the overall scenarios, Tesla will most likely be hitting the thousands per share, according to Cathie Wood, over the next couple of years. Now, this is going to be based off what they're showing right over here. You guys could see that as time goes on, much of Tesla's revenue will transition away from EV sales, and it's going to be coming a lot more from the robotaxi. Now, this depends on when they get this out and how well it works, but this is based off what we're seeing. So looking at their overall valuations for their revenue projections, if we're looking at about $1.2 trillion in revenue, there's a possibility that as years go by, their energy storage could make about 10% of that revenue. 26 could come from their EVs, 1% could come from insurance, and the rest could come from their overall robo-taxis. The robo-taxi is going to be what's generating all this different amounts of money. So why is that? Why is the robo-taxi so bullish? What's happening with that? Well, you have to consider that right now, Tesla makes money primarily from selling cars. That's what's helping the share price go up slowly. But all this talk about autonomy, Tesla being able to achieve these cars that could drive themselves, be able to think themselves and articulate data on their own, that is what's leading to this upside potential that Tesla has. Now, in the bearish outcome, let's just say Tesla sells about 5.8 million of these cars, and their autonomous revenue is at about $600 billion. So we have this like spreadsheet right over here that shows it. If EV sales revenue is only at about 250 billion, but we have about 600 billion from autonomous generation, we could easily see the share price eventually hit that $7 trillion value at $2,000 per share. And if we actually see EV sales at a much higher state by the end of the decade, at 2029, we hit about 14 million in sales, right? That's about $394 billion in revenue from EVs. And we get almost $1 trillion in revenue from their overall autonomous ride hail. I think that's going to be very bullish. That could also bring us to about $11 trillion market cap, which is about the $3,100 price target. Cathie Wood, Cathie Wood is expecting about 2,600. So here's the thing about this projection. There is one thing you have to know about this. I think that it's very possible that we do achieve these things, but they're saying right over here the percentage of simulations indicating that the first year of Tesla's robotaxi commercialization, there's a 58% chance it comes out in 2025, and about a 38% chance it comes out in 2026, and a 4% chance it comes out in 2027. Under the next administration, Musk has a very, very big role. He's now working on regulations, and with him working, he could actually have a big effect on the NHTSA and how they regulate AI, which could be very bullish for them. If they get past a lot of regulations, they manage to, achieve a lot of things that could help them approve this much sooner. That's what Musk is trying to do, which is why he's involved in the administration, also because of other factors. But this overall prediction by Cathie Wood that Tesla is going to be going to like the thousands per share falls under the assumption that within the next like 2 or so years, we get some kind of robotaxi that's unveiled for commercialization. We need that to happen. They have to solve autonomy. They have to be able to do this very, very soon. If they could do it within 2 years, we have the potential to see this thing run like crazy to thousands per share. If Tesla does not achieve this, and it takes them like a decade to achieve the robotaxi, which I think is a bit of a stretch, but you can't rule that out, then it's going to take longer for Tesla to hit thousands per share. I want to make that very, very clear. So we're falling under the assumption that they get us that robotaxi within 2 or so years, right? If they do that, awesome. We're very, very bullish. We get those big gains, and we're going to be looking for the revenue to increase by hundreds of billions, if not trillions. If not, it's going to take even longer. So that's the main thing that she is assuming right over here. If you look at the autonomous run rate, it's much higher for Tesla compared to almost any of its counterparts, because what Tesla is doing is they have millions of these Teslas all over the world, essentially. And there's been some talk about them potentially opening FSD, or at least working on it in China, also in the US, but we're just going to focus on the US for this one. With all the Teslas being driven in the US, as we surpass like over 1 million of them, you have to know that all this data is being collected from millions of Teslas, and they're sending the data back to their supercomputer. The supercomputer's job is to learn from the past and articulate the data. So when you articulate the data, you're going to be using this for learning, right? So it's not like Tesla's building this and they have to pre-program every single thing that the robotaxi is going to do. It's not really like that. It's a learning. It's learning like a machine, like a human brain, and it's going to be using its intelligence that it acquires to make decisions. And these decisions could help it know when to stop, when to go, to turn right, to turn left. Should they slam their brakes if they see something in the way? It's going to be using its machine learning for that. It's also able to identify objects around it, like stop signs, stoplights, pedestrians, and the list goes on, to increase the odds of safety. So I think that with the machine learning that's going on, I personally think that yes, Tesla will solve autonomous driving. I think we're going to do it, guys. I'm very, very confident, but I'm not confident about the timing. I don't know if it's going to be as soon as 2 years. It may take 3-4 years. We'll have to see about that, which could delay the time it takes for Tesla to reach these price targets. If you look at other things that are going on, Teslas do tend to be very efficient. Another thing that could also help the share price go up is Optimus, Tesla's AI that they're developing. It's the humanoid robot. That's also going to be using machine learning. So that's going to be another big factor, which they're not really accounting for that. So they're not really considering this right now in their price estimates. So the price could go higher because of Optimus. But I'm not going to focus too much on that for now. So do I think Tesla will reach $2,600 a share? I think yes, it will. But I don't know the timing of it. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I don't know if it's going to be as soon as 2029. It may take like a decade to get there. It may take a couple of years. It depends. It depends on when they announce and launch the robotaxi. That's what we're essentially waiting for. If they give us that robotaxi within 2 years, if it truly comes down, they start getting billions more in revenue, if not trillions, the share price is going to rocket to the $2,600 to $3,000 per share. And if they continue to, get their EV sales up as they expand to different areas, as they're increasing the capacities of their different gigafactories across the globe, it's going to generate more and more revenue and help the share price go up. So there's different bullish catalysts. The robotaxi and the Optimus humanoid robot, they acquire machine learning and lots of intelligence, and we'll see if we end up achieving them. I think, this is my opinion, I think we're going to be achieving FSD. I think we're going to be seeing fully autonomous driving soon. I think that based off the progress that's being made and what Tesla's able to do, it's going to happen. However, I don't know the timing on this. I don't know if it's going to happen within 2 years. Maybe it's going to take 3 years. Who knows? If it happens within 2 years, we're going to hit these price targets most likely. If not, it may take a little bit longer. That's basically what my final consensus happens to be. But nonetheless, it's very bullish for Tesla. The share price will easily go to the thousands. I believe that Ron Barron did estimate that it's going to be seeing like a $5 trillion market cap too within 10 years. Ron Barron and many other great Tesla investors are saying that they see the share price going to like crazy high price valuations to over $1,000 per share by the 2030 area, if not a little bit after that. But nonetheless, guys, we're very, very bullish. And I think that a lot is going to be priced in for Tesla. And there's going to be a lot of upside to come for the rest of this decade for the share price. I think it's going to be a great buy for the long term. I think there's a lot of buying opportunities when we saw these dips. There could be more dips coming for buying opportunities, but the long term still remains very, very bright. So I'm a big Tesla bull. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. We'll see how long it takes Tesla to announce this robotaxi and how much revenue we end up getting. And we'll see how things end up going. I just want to wish you guys the best of everything. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great Saturday. I'll be back again very soon in my next upload. Thank you for listening. Have a good weekend and peace out.